Hello everyone, welcome to J-Hook Crochet. I am Reggie and this is Yarniversity. Thank you for joining and welcome in. Just a small apology. We came in from visiting my in-laws and we came in a little late and I had to get everything ready and we had a bit of a technical difficulty, but I wanted to make sure that today's stream is not as choppy as last week. So I hope that you guys can see me and that you guys can hear me well, and if not, please let me know. Very good to see you all. Please don't forget when you come in the door to hit the thumbs up. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, the little subscribe button down below. And if you want to join the membership program, there's a little button next to the subscribe button that says join. And if you press that one, you will get a full rundown of what it means to be a member of the channel, what you get from me and what you give in return. And we have a very nice family of members here, and we'll talk about that in just a second because we have a few new members to greet. But before I do that, I do want to welcome you all and say thank you for joining me today. We have gained quite a lot of new subscriber over the last week. Crystal from Bego Day gave me an amazing shout out that I was not expecting. That kind of like threw me off. I was a little high on the fumes for a few days this week. I didn't quite know how to, eat it. So I hope that all of you new viewers will enjoy Yarniversity. Yarniversity is a series of live classes on a different yarn or... Hello? Okay, I'm very sorry. We had a few lags. Can you guys see me again? All right. I'm extremely sorry. You guys have seen it last week. My computer is having a bit of a technical difficulty. It appears like I'm going to have to do some work on it this coming week. So I'm gonna say it this way. We're gonna try to do today's Yarniversity. If at any point it freezes in the middle and I cannot get it running again, then I am very sorry. And you guys will bear with me. If anything happens to today's live stream, if it chops up at any time in the middle, if I have to stop it, I will not be coming back on. So if you see that it buffers for more than 5 minutes, then it's probably not coming back on today, and then we will have to do this or try this again next week. But I'm gonna try to do it today, and for those of you who try to bear with me, I thank you all. So I was just saying that I was totally thrown off by the amazing shout out that I got this week from Crystal from Bego Day, as well as from Glenda from Creative Grandma. And I highly, highly appreciate both of them, as well as anyone else who have helped me reach my goal of 5,000 subscribers. I actually surpassed that thanks to you all, and I highly, highly appreciate it. Yeah, so with the late delay and the technical difficulty, I did not welcome everyone one by one, so please excuse me for doing that today, but I still really much appreciate all of you for being here today. If you're new here, my name is Reggie. I live in Germany. I am the host here of J-Hook Crochet, and I give a live class on a different yarn or crochet related subject every week. Today's lesson is the second part of our yarn companies from around the world. Last week we did European companies, and if you've missed part 1, you can always go back and watch it. The video is still on the channel. And today we are doing part 2, which is Asia. However, normally the first half an hour of the live chat is dedicated to a little bit of chit chat about different administrative things that have to do with the channel. So as always, I first like to welcome our new members. So I want to welcome a whole bunch of new members who joined over the past 2 weeks since the last time we had Yarniversity, because last week was a game show. So we have Kathy Edwards, Sirong Zed, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, Roberta Shepard, Nana Michelle, Silver Wings, Sharon Hunt, and Lauren McRae. So, as Yarniversity tradition goes, we cheers to all the new members. And all the members who are already members can use the very special cheers emoji that they gain with being a member of the channel. So cheers to all the new members. Welcome into the members family, and we hope to see you soon on the next members only live. Cheers. All right. So just in case, like I said, if you're new here and you do not know, the first half an hour is normally dedicated to those greeting new members, talking about new patterns that came out, things that are going to happen on the channel. If you're not interested in that first half an hour, and you're watching it live, then this is your time to go get yourself something to drink, walk your dog, and come back. Normally we start at 6:30 Berlin time. 6:30 p.m. Berlin time is when the live chat actually begins. If you're watching this on a replay, then you can just zoom through the first half an hour of the chat. If you're not sure if you're watching this live or on replay, all you gotta do is look at the top of the chat screen. If it says live chat or top chat, then you are with us live. If it says live chat or top chat replay, then you are watching on replay. If you are with us live, say hi in the chat. I am sorry in advance if I don't follow with the chat 100% of the time. This is a live chat, but it is also a live class. So most of the time I talk and I give the class, and every once in a while I will jump back to the chat to read the comments. If I've missed your comment, you can write it again once you see that I'm looking at the chat again. But I am not ignoring anyone, not on purpose anyway, so please do not get offended. But I see that we have a lot of new people here, and we have a lot of our regulars as well. So a general welcome to everyone today. Thank you to everyone congratulating me in the chat. Yes, I am a bit overwhelmed. I will not lie to you guys. I was very, very stressed about today's live chat. Since this is the first time we do Yarniversity since the enormous jump in new subscribers, and I was not 100% sure how it's going to go. But then my husband say I should just do it as I normally do, and people will get it. So we're gonna try. So I'm very, very glad that you all are here, and I hope that you will enjoy today's class. Next thing I wanted to talk about is the new pattern that was released today on the Etsy shop. It is the Gondoling Elf Hat. If you are following me on Instagram, that you've already seen what it looks like. But the pattern was released. It is on the Etsy shop. It's already available, and you can get it whenever you want. All my links are in the description box below. As always, the link to the Etsy shop, along with a very special discount code to viewers of my channel that you can use as many times as you want. Every time you shop on the Etsy shop, you can use that code. There is the Instagram link if you want to follow me on Instagram. That is where I show things that I currently work on, because my channel is not a vlog channel. I don't normally show things that I work on. So if you're interested in what kind of patterns I'm currently working on, or what in general what I'm doing, it's on the Instagram. There's also the link to my Facebook page, which is the business page, where I again only show things that I'm working on, or give different shout outs for sales that are currently going on different websites that I like. And you can also join the Facebook group. That link is also in the description box below. On the Facebook group, everyone is welcome. You can promote yourself as long as you do it on a daily basis, as long as you don't do it on a regular daily basis and post once a day links to your own you know, your own things, then you can definitely promote yourself on there. It is a very open and welcoming group. We also run our crochet along on there. So if you are on Facebook and you want to join the Facebook group, the link to that is in the description box below as well. So as I've said, the new pattern is up on the Etsy shop. Also on the Etsy shop currently is a sale on all the stitch markers. So all of my stitch markers are currently, I believe, 20% off. If not, then maybe 25% off. I'm not sure what I set it to anyway, but they are currently on sale until the end of October. So that's going on as well, and they are on sale until either the end of October or they are all sold out, so whichever happens first. Because I'm gonna have a whole new line of stitch markers, you know, we're going into holiday season, so I want to, you know, update the shop with a lot of new things, and so this is, you know, very one-of-a-kind sale. I don't normally have these kind of reduced prices. And the last thing I wanted to mention is our crochet along, our hashtag Flower Valley Shawl Crochet Along. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, the video to introduce the crochet along is on the channel. You can go back and watch the video with all the details about how exactly the crochet along is run and how you can enter it. There is going to be 4 winners. There's really cool, very nice yarny prizes for the winners, and there's a lot of time because the crochet along just started 2 weeks ago, yeah, exactly 2 weeks ago, and you can still join in. You're still not too late. You can still catch up with the first 2 weeks of the crochet along, and it's gonna go all the way until Christmas Day, 25th of December. So you have a lot of time. And also, again, all the details for that are also on the Facebook group. If you are a member there, you can see there. And you can, of course, follow the hashtag Flower Valley Shawl Cal on both Instagram and Facebook. And if you are not on Instagram or Facebook, but you still want to join the crochet along, then there is a very special email address dedicated only to this crochet along, and you can send your entries there and enter this way. But again, all of the details along with how you enter and what you do are on the special video dedicated to the crochet along, and you can find it there. Okay, the last thing I wanted to mention in terms of administrative things is that last week we had our Halloween game show. You can see that Imogen is still in Halloween style. By the way, she is wearing the Zerzora shawl, which if you're following me for a while, you should already know. And she is wearing the Stars Holo cardigan. So both of these patterns are available on the Etsy shop. And yeah, so we celebrated Halloween last week with a very special game show and gave away a lot of prizes. One winner out of all the winners did not contact me to claim their prize, which means we have one prize that was not claimed, and since it's been a week, the winning is forfeited and I have to choose a new winner for that prize. So what I'm going to do is I will go back to that specific question in the in last week's live, and I'm going to see how many answers we had, and I'm going to run the random number picker just like we did on the live, and I'm going to see who the winner is, and then I'm going to put the winner's name on both the Facebook group as well as the community tab of the channel. So keep a lookout, probably tomorrow during the day. It will be on both the community tab and on Facebook for the new winner for that prize. And if it's you, don't forget to contact me and claim your prize, because if you don't claim your prize, you only have 1 week to do that, and then your winning is forfeited. Okay, so I went through all the administrative things. We still have 6 minutes according to my watch before we actually start the class. So I can check out the chat for a second. By the way, if you're here and you're watching, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up for this video and let YouTube know that we are here. Okay, so I see Nana Michelle, hi, hello, and Hannah is here, and Catherine is here, and Bella Garcia, hello to California, 9:20 a.m. It is 6:25 p.m. here. Hi Dee, and thank you very much for your congratulations. Hello to Racine Jackson from Greenfield, Tennessee. And Jamie is saying you have absolutely nothing to be nervous about, and if you still are feeling anxious, cheers yourself until the feeling passes. Yes, that's what I normally do. Hi Linda, good to see you, and Doris, thank you very much, Doris. And Sonia is here. Oh yeah, hi Sonia, good to see you. And Angela is here, the crazy puppy lady, and Anvita is here. Anvita, I hope that you will stay with us at least until, you know, halfway in, because I'm pretty sure that out of all my viewers or my regular viewers, you're the one that actually has experience with some of these yarns. Hello to Carrie and Tammy and Lashira, hi, you're here. And hello to Reza. I am seeing a lot of new names, which is very, very nice. I'm like I said, please excuse me if I'm a little overwhelmed. Yarniversity has been going on every Sunday for almost a year now, so it's very exciting to suddenly get so many new students. Angela is saying, now the question is, will we be able to get up to 7K for Christmas? Well, the thing is, I think it's like at 6.6 now, if I'm not mistaken, and we have the Yarniversity anniversary, so the series Yarniversity. My channel exists for 2.5 years, 2 and a little bit now, 2 years and 3 months, I think. And the Yarniversity, the series of Sundays lives, has been going on for almost a year. It will be 1 year old on November 14th. So November 14th will be the anniversary of Yarniversity, and we're going to have another live game show for that. And let's maybe we even get to 7K for the Yarniversity anniversary. That would be cool. Nena is saying, good afternoon everyone, it's 12:25 p.m. drinking some mango magic tea since it is a freezing 54 degrees. You are speaking Fahrenheit to me and I don't understand Fahrenheit, but I guess it means it's cold, so get warm. And Nana Michelle, thank you Laura for your congratulations. Laura or Lauren? It's Lauren, right? 6.710. Thank you guys for updating me. Hello Joya, welcome in from Bod, and Vita is saying, thanks Reggie. Yes, I'm here always with you. I'm so glad you are. And Isella, Yarn Crafts and You. Ooh, that's a nice name. Good morning from El Paso. Hey, welcome in. Congratulations and hello again from North California, says Aleta. And Carol is saying hello from Hayward. Is that Wyoming? I don't know. What is WI? Excuse me, everyone. Yes, I'm European, so I have no idea. Please forgive me. Hello to Claudia from Germany. Yay! We have another German here. Hi, Claudia. Good to see you. Have a great Sunday. Cheers and welcome to the new subscribers as well. Says Catherine. Yes, cheers and welcome to all the new subscribers. Hi, Jana. Thank you. And Francie is here. And Charlotte. Charlotte from the Netherlands. Hi, did you get my package? Hi, Petra! Petra is here too, okay. Lurkers are welcome. And Lacey, hello, good to see you. And Kim, hello from Minnesota. Wisconsin? I don't know, it could be. Yes, Jamie, can you believe it's been a year? Did I graduate? Do I get a certificate? No, you remain a freshman for life at Yarniversity. Nana is saying 54 is 12 degrees Celsius. Oh, so it's about as cold as we are here. It is quite cold though. I know, Sonia. I know you are. You're in Germany too. I'm just excited to find more Germans here with us. WY is Wyoming. Okay. Thanks. Hello to Nebraska, and hi to Loralee, and Perfectly Imperfect Crochet from Virginia. I'm so happy. Okay, so Mocha is saying WI is Wisconsin. All right, at some point I will get this. I promise. All right, so once again, thank you all for being here. If you just came in, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up. I am Reggie. This is Yarniversity. It's a live class about a different yarn or crochet related subject each Sunday. And it is 6:30 p.m. my time right now, which means it's time to start the class. Once again, if you're new here, what's gonna happen is I'm going to give a class about Asian yarn companies, and I'm going to introduce you guys or to different yarn companies that maybe you have never heard of before. And what's gonna happen is I'm gonna talk and I'm gonna give a class, and every once in a while I'm gonna stop and look at the chat. So if I missed your comment, I'm not ignoring you on purpose. This is just how Yarniversity is. Those of you who are regular here know this. Those of you who are new here, I promise it's very easy to get used to. Hi Chantal, good to see you. And hello to everyone. Freshman for life, yes. Oh, that's a good hoodie. I should write that down. Wait, freshman for life. Freshman for life. Gonna try that. And if you guys don't know what Jamie is talking about, I have Yarniversity merch. The link to the spring shop, the Teespring shop, is in the description box below, and you can get hoodies with a Yarniversity symbol. You can see Yarniversity. It has balls of yarn, and it looks like a Yarniversity. Yeah. So if you are interested in Yarniversity merch, the link is in the description box below. And that's a good idea. All right. I'm going to be Yarniversity professional student. Hi, Miko. Woof. Good to see you. All right. So we're gonna start. And today, unlike last week, I'm gonna start with a question because I want to prove myself right. So I'm gonna ask you to give me a name of an Asian yarn company that you know. Just one Asian yarn company that you know. Now, to save you all the confusion, we don't consider Turkey. We had the discussion about this last week. We did not consider it in Europe, and we're not going to consider it in Asia because I could not decide where to place it. And maybe Turkish yarn companies will get their own Yarniversity because there are so many of them that is very hard to decide on just one to talk about. So tell me a name of an Asian yarn company you know, and let's see what you guys say. Hi Kim, welcome in. No, Ice Yarn is Turkish. Noro. And Vita, that's not fair. You're cheating. Lori says, my dad used to call people who went to college for a long time professional students. Oh, okay. Now I get the joke. Loralee Schackenmeyer as German. We talked about it last week. It was actually a part of our European Yarniversity. AliExpress is a good one. Okay, so as I have expected, 99% of the comments were Noro. Yeah, that makes sense because not a lot of yarn companies that operate out of Asia are very well known worldwide. However, there are a few that are, distributed worldwide and known and used by knitters and crocheters all around the world. But there are, of course, also local yarn companies in these countries. So, when you travel to Thailand or the Philippines or whatever, you will find local yarn brands that you've never seen before, just like in your country. Just like, I don't know, for those of you in the US, it might be easier to say, like Yarn Bee, okay, or like the local brand of a store, like the Michaels brand or the Hobby Lobby brand, or even Lion Brand and Karen. I mean, I am in Europe. When I go to the store, we don't have Lion Brand and Karen in the stores here. The Karen cakes that you see up here, these 2 Karen cakes that I have up here are the only Karen cakes I have, and I only have them because a lovely subscriber from the US sent them over. So when I go to the shops here, I don't get these brands. So it's the same. It's the same all over the world. Only Noro. Yeah, I think it makes sense. Giggling Gecko yarn, says Lacey. I have not heard of those. Hedgehog fibers are local. Exactly. So each of us have, the local ones, the local brands that we know from our stores, or when I go to the store, what I find here. So when I go to the store, what I found here is what composed last week's Yarniversity when we talked about European brands, and there were way too much to include in just one episode. It is the same, of course, with Asian brands as well. There are more brands that I can include in just one episode, but I decided to grab a few that I thought were worth mentioning. I had to, go through and pick out ones that either have something interesting to say about, or from the ones that are like just regular yarn companies, your everyday yarns. I could mention all of them. So I chose 2 that we're going to talk about. The goal of this is not to make you go buy their yarns. However, if you are interested in going and buying their yarns, I have included in the description box below this video some links to websites that sell those yarns outside of Asia. For those of you who do live in Asia, you probably have your local online stores that sell them, or even local stores, brick and mortar stores that sell them. So you do not need the links. But for those of you who are not in Asia and are interested, or this, today's episode made you really want to try one of them, so I put links in the description box below to different places where you can get them if you're interested after you hear about them. Also, today's subject is already on the blog, so if at some point you have to leave, or you came in late, or you're just tired of hearing my voice, you can always click the link, go to the blog, and read all about it there. In general, on the blog, you can read past Yarniversity classes. There isn't a blog post for each one of the past classes because I only started the blog about halfway in to Yarniversity, and I didn't go back and write out blogs for older Yarniversities that happened before I started the blog. But most of the Yarniversity blogs that happened after the blog was started, most of the Yarniversity episodes that happened after the blog started can be read there. Did I miss something? Oh, you guys, yeah, I'm not making you buy them on purpose. It's just the side effect. So this is not like an intentional enabling episode, unlike, other videos of my channel who are clearly an enabler videos. This is like the enabling in this video is totally a side effect. Speaking of enabling, do you see my cool pom-pom earrings that I am wearing? These were made by Kath's Eye Catchers, and she is my moderator in the chat. So hi, Kath. I love you very much. Thank you for the earrings. And if you want to get your own, you should go check out Kath's Eye Catchers. She has a YouTube channel and she has an Etsy shop where she sells wonderful things that she makes. Okay, so I'm gonna start talking about yarns out of Asia. I explained how I chose the companies, and now I need to give a small side note. So, as I've said, I live in Europe, so many of these yarns, like you, when I thought, oh, Asian yarns, I can name without researching it, maybe 3 companies. So before I started researching Asian yarn companies, to myself, I could only name 3. And then I had to start researching it and look for different companies or find out companies that I did know but had no idea they come from Asia. And then I ran into sort of a blockage. And here's the thing. A lot of these companies do have their own websites, but the websites are not in English, or without a possibility to translate them into English. So getting information about the companies was very hard, because I didn't just want to say the companies' names and show you their yarns. You guys know me. This is Yarniversity. I want to tell you something about the company. I want to tell you about how they work, how many workers they have, you know, where are they located, a little bit about their history, maybe an interesting story that stands behind the brand. And it's very, very hard to do that when all the information is in a language that you do not speak. And if you put a whole lot of text into Google Translate, you get a lot of gibberish that you cannot really like make sense of the sentences sometimes, especially, you know, if the website is written in Cyrillic letters. Or any other kind of language that is not Latin letters. So it's very, very hard. And so my research this week was definitely harder than the normal kind of research that I put into that stuff. Eventually, I did have to write a few of the yarn companies. I wrote them emails and asked them to help me with my research and give me information. I also reached out to different Asian YouTubers that I follow. They themselves were a little bit puzzled because even when they on their channels do yarn reviews or tutorials, they use yarn that they order online with European yarns or American or Canadian companies, and very, very little use local sourced yarns. So it was very, very hard to find information and actually, you know, find something to say about these companies. However, I did include, I believe, 7 companies, if I'm not mistaken, in today's rundown. The ones that I could find the most information about and the ones that I thought would be the most interesting. In addition to researching them and getting the information about them, I also wanted to get some information about crocheting and knitting in general in Asia and what kind of fibers are used there, because I gave you guys the specs about Europe last week. And I thought it would be interesting to learn about Asia. Well, when you look at the Asian map, it's literally, you know, huge, right? It is the biggest continent. So when you look at where to where it stretches and what kind of different climates there are through Asia, different, you know, the geography is different. Some are complete desert, some are tropical, some have ice deserts. You know, it's amazing when you look at the Asian map. So there's really not like you can't really talk about Asia as a whole, like people do more crochet or people do more knitting, and you cannot really say people use more of these fibers or those fibers if you don't talk specifically about a location. So in the Far East, where the weather is more prone to warmer climate, people do use more either plant-based fibers or acrylic. There's almost no wool. I've contacted, like I said, a few other Asian YouTubers who informed me that it is very, very hard for them to get any wool or wool blends around where they live because it just doesn't make sense to sell it there. However, in Russia, which some of you might say Russia is Europe, but let's be honest, the part of Russia that's in Europe is insignificant when you compare it to the rest of Russia that's actually not in Europe. And so I think Russia is considered Asia. And so when you look at Russia, there's so many parts of it that are cold and icy, and so they use a lot more wool there. And then there's everything, you know, in the middle. You have Kazakhstan, you have Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia. It's so many different climates. The geography is so different. And so it is very, very hard to give specs about Asia as a whole. But I hope that when we look at the companies themselves and you will see what they offer and what exactly they produce, it will give you a little bit more information about the specific area that they operate in. Because of course, local companies cater to their local crowds and make the kind of yarns that the local crowds will use. Lori is saying, I literally just finished the last task of cleaning the kitchen and my husband came in and asked if I could start lunch. Oh, okay, Lori. Well, have a nice lunch. Hello to everyone just coming in. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Lorena says where she is, it's cold. And hi to the Paper Diva. Welcome in. Yes, right, Catherine? It's quite a distance between Siberia and India. And Kim is saying, bring on the yak yarn. Yes, see, but the thing is, a lot of the yak yarn is sourced out of Asia, but there aren't a lot of Asian companies making yak yarn and selling it locally. So there are manufacturers in Asia who manufacture yarn but sell it to brands in other countries and not inside of Asia. That is something that's very, you know, typical to Asia. There's a huge textile industry, but a very large portion of that textile industry is exported. So it's exported outside of Asia to other places. So there is a lot of yak, but then it's being exported to Europe, where the manufacturers there turn it into yarn and sell it locally. Because in Asia, there's not a lot of, a lot of crowd to sell yak yarn to. Not in terms of there's not a lot of people in Asia, because of course there are a lot of people in Asia. The point was there are not a lot of people in Asia who will buy yak yarn. Lacey is saying in Florida it's fall today. Hello to Texas. Sonia is saying, which reminds me, have to try out the new Persian restaurant around the corner. Oh, that sounds very tasty. Canada has such a range of seasons, says Carrie, yet our yarn supply sucks as a whole. Oh, that sucks. Okay, so let's begin. And before, when I have asked you about yarn companies, so I was mentioning before, there is a very flourishing textile industry in Asia, right? Fiber and raw material for the world's yarn industry is being exported out of China and India and used by some of the larger brands of yarn out there. But most of the yarn that manufacturers in Asia distribute most of the yarn manufacturers in Asia distribute their products to other countries. However, there are a few Asian brands which are sold both locally and in different Asian countries, as well as internationally. So these are the ones that I am including in today's roundup. And when I asked you guys before, name an Asian yarn company, yeah, just as I expected, 99% of you said Noro, because I think Noro is possibly the most worldwide known Asian brand name. And if you are European, American, or Australian, and I asked you the name of an Asian yarn company, you would most likely say Noro. And we got a perfect example for that when the only person currently in the chat from Asia, I think, if there are more of you out there, let me know. But I only know that Anvita, who lives in India, she was the only one mentioning other local yarn brands. So Noro is known mainly due to how different it is than other yarns. But, just for those of you who do not know, the brand is located in Japan. It carries the name Noro, which is the name of the founder of the company called Aisaku Noro. And it is known worldwide for being different than other yarn brands. And unlike most yarn companies, Noro yarns are partially spun by hand rather than a completely automated production line, which is something that is very typical to Noro yarns. It gives them these special look that they have that doesn't resemble anything else. Also, in addition to being partially spun by hand, they are also well known for their vivid colors and combination of diverse fiber types. They have some of the most interesting fiber combinations that you will not find in other companies. Some of their fiber combinations in their collection are not available from any other yarn company because the technology of combining those two fibers is patented by Noro. That means there are some fibers that are hard to combine. For those of you who've been with Yarniversity for a while, you've heard me mention very, very often, the way fibers are constructed, and some of them have scales on them, and some of them have different microns, and sometimes some of the fibers are just like no actual way in which you can turn them into one fiber to spin into yarn without using some kind of special technology. And some of that technology is patented by Noro, and they are the only company in the world that's able to combine these fibers. And that is something very, very unique to them. The company is also very, very dedicated to ensuring eco-friendly process. So all the animal fibers that are used in their yarns come from certified organic farms, and the dye processing is kept under strict restrictions to reduce waste and pollution, which is another very good reason to buy Noro yarns. The aspiration is to use selected materials and deliver them to the customer without compromising their natural qualities. Now, when you hear this kind of sentence, combined with everything I just said, the fact that it's partly spun by hand, their eco-friendly approach, their patented processes, and the unique fiber combinations that they offer that no other company offers, that already gives you a look into why are Noro yarns on the higher scale of the price range, okay? Of course, you cannot have that kind of product that is such high quality and so unique and price it down. So yes, Noro yarns are expensive. They are a luxury product for crocheters and knitters around the world. But you know, when you buy Noro, you get the best product possible. And each one of your creations will be unique. Noro yarns are very unique and very different than other yarns, which is one of the reasons why they are also so popular. They are currently sold in over 30 countries and available worldwide through online stores with international shipping. So if they are not sold locally in your country, in the local yarn shops, you can get them online. There are a lot of different websites who ship them internationally. In addition to the yarns themselves, you can also get your hands on the company's patterns and inspiration magazines. And those magazines are full with designs that are specifically designed for the Noro yarns. So if you've ever had Noro yarn in your hands before, you know that their color combination and sometimes the variegation in the yarn, it's not always even, and then they have very special designs that are designed to work with their yarns, so that when you knit or crochet their design, the yarn will do interesting things. The colors will do interesting things, which is very, very hard to design if you don't know their yarns. And this is also why they're like Noro specified patterns are also very, very popular. Yeah, so their lines of patterns, their lines of yarn is full of color, it's full of imagination, and it is different, which, as I've said, is probably what makes them so unique and so popular at the same time. And this pretty much explains why 99% of us will say Noro as the first brand Asian brand name that we think of. And I think it's very well deserved as well. So that was Noro, and let's look at their or one of their yarns real quick. So this is one yarn out of their collection. If you've never seen or had Noro yarns before, then you can see each ball looks different, even if it is the same, what we call dye lot or colorway. Each ball of the yarns looks different, and that is one of these, one of the effects of the ways of how the yarns are being made. You can see a little amigurumi frog sitting on top of the yarns, and that amigurumi frog was made with Noro yarns. So you can see that even that frog that has it, like the colors are in the right place, because this is an amigurumi that was designed to work with Noro yarns. If you by yourself try to use one of the Noro yarns to make an amigurumi, your color changes will never be in the right place, not as this one is, which is just, to come to show you how patterns that work specifically for their yarns have to be very carefully designed. All right, let's see what you guys are saying about Noro. Where was I last time? All right. Yeah, all right. Lori is saying no wonder they have to charge those prices, and Isella was giving us a quote from Isako Noro. And Kim is saying Bago Day is currently having a giveaway of Noro for those of you who are interested. You have a coffee cotton yarn from China. Try to research the company and only see distribution from China or South Africa. That makes sense. Like I said, a lot of these companies, the Asian companies, only sell inside of Asia. Noro is fantastic in saori weaving. High quality and unique yarn from Japan is not surprising. Yeah, I guess you guys are talking about the price. The price. I normally don't enter giveaway, says Nana Michelle. I have a lot of yarn, but I sure did enter the Noro one. Ursula says she loves the yarn, and Jamie saying, I have only seen Noro yarn online and when Crystal showcases it. I've never seen that type of fabric it makes when it's worked up. I think if I ever purchase a Noro, it will be just to look at. Kim is saying, she's talking to Michelle, and Miko, hi Miko, I don't think I would make an amigurumi with a more expensive yarn. Some people do. That's, you know, I think it's, I mean, I think they design amigurumi for Noro yarns because a lot of people in Japan make amigurumi. And I think the way the yarn looks give the amigurumi a very special look. So I think for them it makes sense to design it, but they also design a lot of wearables, of course. Very cool, says Catherine. Shelly saying, I love it, but never saw anyone wearing it in Japan. You mean anyone wearing things made out of Noro yarn? Putting all the different Noro yarns was one of the best things about... Petting all the different Noro yarns was one of the best things about going to the web store, says Kim. And Doris is saying she never touched any. I did. I actually had quite a few Noro yarns. I actually gave one of them away in a giveaway. I think Catherine was the one who won it. And I also use quite a lot of it. There is one shop in my area. It's funny to say in my area. It's because it's not close. I don't have like yarn shops around me. Those of you who've been watching my channel for a while have heard me saying it countless times. There are no yarn stores in my area. There are some stores that sell a little bit of yarn. But like actual yarn shop, we don't have one around here. But there is one that's in my relative vicinity. You know, Germany is huge, so if I say it's near me, it's like an hour and something away. And they have Noro yarns, and I did shop for Noro yarns quite a few times, and I've made some things with it. The latest that I can remember was a scarf. It came out beautifully, but I did not use one of Noro's patterns. I, you know, sort of like went with it, and the color changing in it was amazing. One thing I would say about Noro yarns is sometimes when you first touch them, you won't be a fan. I mean, I still am not 100% fan of Noro. I wasn't a big fan of the way it feels at first, but I think a lot of it is that unique combination of fibers. So you look at the label and you say, oh, that's interesting. How does this weird combination work? I've never had anything in my hands that, you know, is compiled out of these fibers. And then the 3 times that I actually made like a big purchase of Noro yarns, which was like maybe three balls each time, because they are very expensive. I think that out of those 3 times, 2 of those times was literally just because of the fiber combination. And I said, oh my God, I cannot like even begin to think how this will work together. And then I bought them and I made something with them. I was very happy with the final result, but I'm not 100% fan of how they feel when you just, you know, when you just touch them in the store. Of course, they have some blends that are luscious, you know, they have cashmere in them and merino and whatever, but they also have these like silk cashmere. No, they have a silk mohair blend. And you're like, how does silk and mohair even combine? And when you touch it, it doesn't feel that luscious. So I was like, not 100% about it. So I'm not like a big fan of Noro yarns, but my experience with them has been good. I wasn't saying, Jana is saying, I wasn't saying much about the price, but Japan, they do so many things in high quality. They do so many things in high quality. I love Japan, amazing place. And Catherine says, yes, she was the one who won the Noro yarn for me. Alice is saying, I haven't played with it, but I do know it never really appealed to me. Hello to everyone just joining in. It looks great, but it isn't soft at all indeed. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I mean, when I felt that, like, every Noro yarn that I felt or held in my hands was not like lusciously soft, cloudy yarn. But they work out beautifully and they make amazing things. And I think that if you do it correctly and get a pattern that is designed for Noro to go along with them, then you can get something very pretty. Of course, you can get something very pretty also if you just come up with it yourself. I'm not saying the things that I made with their yarns didn't come out nicely. They did. But they would have probably come out nicer had I known the yarn or had an idea of how to use it correctly or what to pair it with. Because, I mean, seriously, I can... Okay. Those of you who've been here for a long time know that I can appreciate a company just for being able to make these matches, you know, like mohair silk, like I said before, right? So I appreciate how much science is going into it, and I can appreciate them as a company, and I can say they have beautiful colors and colors combinations and wonderful designs. But the yarns themselves, when you will hold them in your hand, it won't be like your first instinct won't be, oh my god, this is so luscious, I have to like wrap it around my neck. Because even that silk mohair blend, which when I held it, I was like, that is an incredible, like, how do you even mix mohair and silk? Both of them have no scales at all. How does that even hold together? Which is one of those special technologies that they use. And then you say, but when you hold it, it's not what you would expect, because both of those ingredients sound amazing, but then I don't know, maybe the fact they don't naturally combine means they shouldn't. I don't know. Linda is saying she does not like Noro herself. Coffee bean yarn? I don't know what you guys are talking about. Sonia is saying, perfect revenge yarn for the itchy sweater to gift someone you really like. Revenge yarn. I like that term. Oh my god, I'm writing it down. Revenge yarn. Revenge yarn. That is what I'm going to call yarn. Itchy yarn from now on. Coffee cotton is made with infusing coffee grounds into the yarn. Oh, okay, so it's not actually, the yarn is not actually made out of anything coffee. There's like coffee extracts into cotton yarn. Got it. Very interesting. All right, so that was Noro. And I am going to move on to the next company. But if you came in late, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. And if you want to join our special membership program and be a contributing member of the channel, the little join button down below will tell you everything you need to know about that. You might copyright it. That's mean. I might use some of my yarn, revenge yarn on you, Sonia. Isella is saying, as a spinner, I make different yarn for different applications. I don't think Noro started as a yarn for crochet or knitting. So you think they started as yarn for weaving? Angela is saying one of her grannies used to make, and there I was thinking she liked me. Oh, like itchy sweaters. That's a mean gift. Here, I made this for you. That's mean. But you guys know you are talking to the right witch, right? You said it to the right person. All right, so enough of that nonsense. Let's move on to the next company. So the next company, actually, Anvita did mention them before in the chat. And this is one of those companies that I had to write them to get their information. They were very nice, and they answered my call. Now, I'm still not 100% sure that I'm pronouncing their name correctly, but they are called Vardman or Vardman. I think it's Vardman. And please excuse my German accent there. So let's open up a picture. Isabella is saying, I remember seeing a documentary on Noro about 10 years ago, and it was associated with weaving. Ah, that's interesting. I would look for that too. Yes. Noro weaving. Noro weaving documentary. I wrote it down. I'm gonna look it up. Rosemary saying she bought Noro recently. It was lovely, but then I'm not a yarn snob. Sonia says, we've all been there. I had the brick jumper. The pattern was red with white stripes, mimicking a brick wall, and all my siblings had it before me. Yes, that's an evil gift idea. All right, so Vardman. They are called the Vardman Group, and they were established in 1965, and it is currently located in Punjab in India. The manufacturing facilities of the company today include over 1.1 million spindles and 600 tons per day of yarn production, which is a lot. They produce and sell yarns for other brands as well. So they are one of these companies that, make the yarn, sell them to other brands. The other brands slip their tag on it and sell it. Sort of like Ice Yarns in Turkey. But these are made in India. So if you have ever, held yarn that the label was from a brand that a big brand, and it said made in India on there, then a lot of chances, because Vardman is one of the biggest manufacturers of yarn in India. So if it came from India, it was made in India, there's a very big chance that it was made by them. But they also have their own brand they sell locally in India. Their yarn collection includes everything you would expect from a company in this magnitude. Everything from your everyday acrylic to cotton, wool and wool blends, sock yarn, novelty yarns, baby yarns, and so much more. And you can see that beautiful tweed yarn here on the screen that ever since I saw this picture is from their Instagram, by the way. All of these companies have very active Instagram accounts, and if you're interested in seeing or getting inspiration to what to do with their yarns, you can also always go look. But when I saw that yarn, I love tweed. I have you guys confession, I have a weakness for tweed. So when I saw that yarn, I was like, oh my god, this is beautiful. But again, this looks a lot like the Hobby tweed. yarn. So it might very well be. I don't know. I haven't checked, but it could be that you have a yarn that you buy in your country, and if it says made in India on there, it's very, very possible that it was made by them. So in addition to all those yarns that they have, like any respectable mass production company these days, they offer pattern booklets as well as maintaining a very wide social media appearance. As I've just said, this picture is from their Instagram. They also have Facebook. They have a YouTube channel where you can find tutorials and some of their old or older commercials that they used to run on TV. You can see them on the YouTube channel now. And you can, follow them on Instagram and Facebook and keep updated with their latest yarns and their latest patterns. And every once in a while, they will put some interesting other content on there. One of the things that they have on there that I have found while researching them and found really, really interested is that they also run knit and crochet alongs. The latest one that they are running is actually for charity. They invite people to make the items on the crochet and knit along and then send them to the company where they prepare them to be donated to children in need. So I thought that was really, really nice and very, very interesting from a yarn company. Not only that they run these knit along and crochet alongs, they also tell you if you make it and want to donate it, send it to us and we'll take care of it. So I thought that was a very interesting extra detail. Let's see what you guys are saying. Hi Vijay. Vijay is saying love the color. The name looks Swedish or Danish, says Sonia. That's what I thought. When I'm really trying to say Vardman without that accent, but I have that German R, right? It sounds German when I say it. Coffee cotton yarn is produced by Sigd in Taiwan under sub-company. Oh, okay, so it is produced in Taiwan for Premier, I guess. Yes, exactly. It's like ice yarn. They manufacture for others, but also sell under their own brand. And Jana is saying their company is as old as her. That's an interesting little detail. Yeah, so much like ice yarns, they have their mills, they make yarn, and they sell it under their own brand inside India, but they also sell it to other brands worldwide to sell under their own tag. I'm sure that many of you have had this before. You have one yarn from one company and another yarn from another company, and they look exactly the same and their specs are exactly the same, but they have a different label on them, and sometimes they even have different prices. One of the examples that I always love to give is the Hobby Twister and the Yarn Art Flowers. Yarn Art Flowers and Hobby Twister are literally the same yarn. They are made in the same factory by the same manufacturers in the same colors. One of them is sold to Yarn Art and put the flowers tag on there. The other one is sold on Hobby with the Hobby brand on there. And both of them have very different prices. And while Hobby normally ranges anywhere from between 16 and 18 and 19 euros, Yarn Art is normally sold for 7 or 8 euros cake. And they look exactly the same. So this is, it happens a lot. And the way it happens is the yarns are made by manufacturers and sold to the yarn companies. And the yarn companies, the big brands, slip their label on there and sell it under their own brand. So one of the companies that make those yarns and sell them to different companies is Vardman. And but as I've said, they also have their own brand. But unlike ice yarns, their brand is sold locally in stores, and not like ice yarn you can only get on the ice yarn website, and you can only get it in packs. unless you're in the US and you order from one of their distributor theirs. But as a whole, normally Ice Yarns is not sold in stores and not sold separately. Vardman do sell in stores in India, and they sell also online on their shop. You can get them also by the ball, not just by the pack. Okay, see you later, Angela. Ursula is saying she loves yarn art flower. Yes, I love it too. Yeah. Angela is saying, yeah, I can now say I have hobby cakes, just labeled differently. Yes, exactly. That is correct. I can actually show you. I have 2 cakes. Maybe you can see them behind me. I have 2 cakes. That one of them is the ice yarn flowers, and one of the, I think where are they? Here. One of them is the ice yarn flowers, and the other one is a hobby twister, and they are exactly the same, as you can see. Hi, Jeanette. Welcome in. Good to see you. Yes, Linda, I love Yarn Art as well, which is, again, Yarn Art is another wonderful Turkish company, and I really think that we're gonna have one of these episodes will be dedicated only to Turkish yarn companies, because some of the best companies out there are in Turkey. So I am going to, since we just talked about ice yarn, so I just remembered. Every week on Yarniversity, we have a little giveaway, and the way it works is like this. Once the live chat is finished and goes into replay, which means we are off the air and the video can still play on the channel. So you can replay the video on the channel after the live is finished. You come back to the replay and you leave a comment down below. You cannot do it right now, because anything, if you're watching this live and you will write anything right now, it will go in the chat. But if you come back to the replay after the live is over, you will have an option to comment down below. You leave a comment down below to enter into the giveaway, and next week on Yarniversity, we choose a winner out of that. So, this is how it works. And the question that I'm going to ask today, which is what you're going to comment when you come back to comment in the comments below. The question is, tell me if you've ever worked with any one of these yarn companies, and if yes, what did you make with them? And if no, which one of these are you more interested in? That is the question that you have to answer in the comments down below once this goes into replay, and next week on Yarniversity, we choose the winner. And the prize for today, since all of these companies that I'm talking about today, I don't really have access to other than Noro, and Noro yarns, like I said, the closest to me that I can get them is about an hour and a half away drive. But I do have ice yarns. So today's giveaway will be this pack of ice yarns, and the winner will get the whole pack. And let me tell you a little bit about this yarn so that you'll know what you are winning. So this is, each ball is 50 grams and 200 meters, and it is 100% acrylic, and that is all it says. So that's what it looks like. 100% acrylic, 50 grams, 200 meters, and as I've said, you get a whole pack of it. Sorry for the crinkling. So 1, 2, 3, 400 grams. I think that's a good quantity. You can make something pretty big out of that. Yarn Art Flowers Moonlight is her favorite gradient cake, says Judy, and that is the Yarn Art that has the flowers that has sparkle going through it. Not Europe, not Asia, Eurasia, right? Turkish yarn is the best. I agree. If any of you like goes on vacation to Turkey, let me know. I'll, send you a suitcase to fill up with yarn for me. How many big yarn companies are there in the world? Maybe even not that many, just thinking. What do you mean with big yarn companies? Yarn producers. Oh, how many yarn producers? Oh yeah, quite a lot. Like I said, in India alone, Vardman is maybe the biggest one or the leading one. But they have a lot of other companies that make yarn and don't sell it locally, which is one of the problems I had. I really wanted to include some Indian companies, but a lot of those companies are based in India. They make yarn, mainly cotton yarns, and they sell it to other brands. So they don't have their own brand. And because they don't have their own brand, they don't fall under the definition of the companies that I am including in this series. But there are a lot of manufacturers, and that is India alone. Now, take that, multiply it by 100, and you get what's going on in China. China is a huge manufacturer of yarn and textile, but there is not a lot of Chinese brands that you can like really talk about. Someone said before in the chat AliExpress yarn, and I was laughing, and the reason I was laughing is because if you Google Chinese yarn companies, all you get is those yarns that are sold on AliExpress, and if you take the name of those on those labels that are sold on AliExpress and put those into Google, you literally get nothing, because they are pretty much all of them, again, made by some kind of manufacturer that slips different labels on them. And it's not yarn that people actually buy at the store. So there's not many that have their own label sold locally, which is why it was very, very hard to do the Asian roundup. But I did manage to find a few. All right, so we spoke about today's giveaway, and if you want to enter into that to win the pack of the ice yarn, you need to come back to the replay, comment down below, write me in the comments if you had any experience with the companies that we are mentioning in today's roundup, and let me know if you did, what did you make? If you didn't, which one would you most like to try? And next week on Yarniversity, we will choose the winner for that. Yeah, AliExpress has similar yarns as Karen, yes. All right, so the next company I want to talk about. Now, this is one that's especially close to my heart, and you will understand why in just a second. I'm just gonna open the picture. All right. So the next one I want to talk about is called Soul Wool. Now, this is not a big company. It's rather a small, very small, independent business. However, I think it earned its rightful place in this list due to the amazing story that comes along with it. Plus, it is based in Israel. Now, for those of you who are new here, I am Reggie. I live in Germany, but I was born and raised in Israel. I lived there until I was 21 years old. And yes, I served in the army and everything. So finding that kind of business that operates out of Israel and actually is available to buy and or ship worldwide was very, very nice to me. When I lived in Israel, I wasn't that much into knitting and crocheting as I am today. I did knit, but the yarns that I bought when I lived there were the ones that you just go to the local shop and buy. I wasn't that much into yarn and fiber back then. So when I did the Asian roundup and I was looking for Asian companies, I really wanted to include one out of Israel. So I contacted a few Israel knitters and crocheters, and I also asked on an Israeli knit and crochet group. And then people told me about this company, So I started looking into it, and I even contacted them, and I thought it is amazing, and I just had to tell you guys about it. So the company is called Soul Wool, and it is based in Carmiel, which is a city in the north of Israel. And it's made out of wool which is sourced out of New Zealand from a farm where the sheep are brushed, not sheared. So it is an animal frame sheared. They are brushed, not sheared, and it is, you know, a eco-friendly and animal-friendly farm. And that is where the yarn, the wool is sourced out of. And once it is in Israel, the fiber is hand spun into yarn by Bedouin women. And those of you who do not know, the Bedouins are nomad living in the deserts in Israel. And this action, like giving the materials for them to spin, gives them employment and a very well needed income. Now, Bedouin women in the Bedouin society, they are not considered much. Their status is very, very low. Once one of these women has an employment and becomes a provider for her family, her status is increased tremendously. She becomes like the queen of the family. So this action of using the Bedouin women to spin the fiber by hand, which is something that they are already used to doing, as most of these Bedouin families are hoarders. They have hordes of sheep, they have camel, and so on. So a lot of them already are trained in the art of spinning fiber. But what Soul Wool does is they bring very good, very high quality fiber from abroad, give it to these women, making them, you know, giving them employment, making them, empowering them in a way. And then that bare yarn that is spun by hand by these women is dyed again by hand by the owner of Soul Wool. And he hand dyes it all in natural, traditional methods, which, if you know me, you know how this speaks to me. And the colors that he dyes, or the colorways that he produces, they vary according to his mood of the day and are very often inspired by Israeli nature and landscapes. He has a lot of, desert, earthy colors, some greens, a lot of blues. Very, very... it's hard to explain if you've never been or seen the Israeli nature, but very, very strongly inspired. Then, that's not the end. The labeling of the yarn is done by hand by disabled people, once again providing another source of income for those who really need it the most, people who wouldn't otherwise get employment. They are the ones doing the labeling of the yarn, and once again, they become providers for themselves. And so the entire business is dedicating to empowering and promoting weakened population, which I think makes it true Soul Wool. So the name is very, very fitting. And it might be a small business of a sort, but when you buy yarn from Soul Wool, you're actually contributing to a much higher cause. And so whatever you end up making with this yarn, it would not only be pretty on the outside, you know, it has like a story on the inside. I hope that makes sense. And if you're not sure what to make, there are actually some designers working with Soul Wool, developing patterns to go along with the very special yarns that they make, and those patterns are available on Ravelry. So if you are interested in getting some of these yarns, I linked in the description box below the company's website. You can also write them if you are, not from Israel and are interested to have some of the yarn shipped. As I've said, the owner is very, very nice, very, very responsive. They also have an Instagram page that you can follow. They have their website. They have a contact form on the website. He also has a WhatsApp on there, Facebook. You can very easily contact them. And also they have one distributor in the US. So if you are across the pond and you're interested in getting these yarns, there's actually someone in the US stocking their yarns, and they are sold on their website. And the website is in the description box below as well. Right. Let's see what you guys were saying this whole time when I was talking. Catherine said, I hear you have given up trying to find manufacturer of milk yarn. All good ever find was AliExpress. Yes, milk yarn. I think we talked about that when we spoke about vegan yarn. The flower yarn was Yarn Arts. Welcome, Susan. Thank you for joining in. And hi, Vicky. Welcome in. Everyone who's coming in, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Sylvia is saying, I'm sorry, I'm visually impaired, so I could read them who it was that I was watching. Anyways, you're making a good tutorial. Very informative. Oh, hi, Sylvia. I'm Reggie from J-Hook Crochet. Welcome in. And hi to Chris, welcome in. Lori is saying, I would imagine many of the yarn manufacturers sell strictly to the garment manufacturer for machine. That is correct as well. All right, Margaret, you can always watch a replay if you want. See you later, Dodo. Thanks for being here. Hello to Jamie, welcome in. Okay, Sonia is saying, this sounds so wholesome. And Maribel is saying, so awesome for that company to hire Bedouin women. Kim is saying, oh, that they employ special needs. Where can I get the yarn? Like I said, description box below, there's a link. One is to their official website and one is to their distributor in the States. Vicky is saying she loves the information. I'm very, very happy that you like it. And Catherine was thanking someone else. Okay, so yeah, Soul Wool. I must say that I loved the extra behind this company. This this feel that you're actually doing something good by buying from them. And I thought that the yarns themselves look really, really interesting. Because they are spun by hand, they are, uneven, they are a little bit thicker at some places and thinner at others. And because the colors change according to the mood, you can see here, there's like a bunch of this yarn and each of them looks different. So I think it would be something amazing to work with. I'm kind of like a little bit sorry that I never knew about this when I lived in Israel, but now after this week's research and learning and talking to them, I'm definitely going to get some. So you keep your eyes peeled. Maybe we will have an unboxing soon. Jana is saying she can see why I would like Soul Wool. It sounds like an amazing company. Deborah is saying that's very interesting, and Ursula is lurking. Hi to all the lurkers. You're very welcome here. Deborah is saying Soul Wool sounds amazing. I would love to try some. And Paula is saying she's learning a lot. I'm very, very happy that you're all learning a lot, and I hope that you will join us regularly Sundays on Yarniversity. All right, so that was Soul Wool. Like I said, it's a company I just had to share with you because when I learned about it, it definitely touched my heart, and I thought it had an amazing story behind it. So even though it is a smaller company, and I wouldn't even call it a company, it's like a smaller business, and I'm not sure that, between all the other ginormous companies that we are going to talk about today, it might, you know, seem insignificant, but I think what's standing behind it makes it like stand out enough to be included. Plus, I thought it would be a very nice business to, you know, shout out to you all to try. And like I said, there is one website that stocks and sells this yarn in the US, and I'm pretty sure that if you are in the US or Canada and you want to get that yarn, it will be easier for you to get it from that website. But everyone else, like I said, the official website of Soul Wool, and if you can't, or for some reason you're trying to check out and it wouldn't let you check out internationally, just write them a message. They're very responsive and very, very nice. Hi Vera, thanks for lurking. Okay, so that was Soul Wool. And the next company I'm going to talk about is another Japanese company. So let me just grab the pictures real quick. And that is Ito. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Once again, all these names are very hard to pronounce when they are in a local, you know, language. So Ito yarns are produced in Japan. It is, as we said before, a country with a long tradition in textile industry. Their yarn collection consists of many different yarns and is complemented by knitting magazines and patterns. All their yarns are distinguished for their special manufacturing process, extraordinary composition, and unusual color palette or variety. Now, this is not maybe the same level as Noro when we talk about interesting compositions and so on, but you will understand what I'm talking about in just a second. So one thing that is very noticeable about Ito yarns is their vast use of paper as an ingredient in their yarns. They have no less than 5 yarns in their collection that are made of paper or are some kind of a paper blend. So a blend of paper with another fiber. It comes to show you the high value of paper in the textile industry in Japan. Now, there is a lot of use of paper fabric, paper yarn, paper thread in Japanese textile and Japanese garments. In general, paper is a very, very big component of Japanese tradition. So I thought it was very, very interesting to see that there is a yarn company that has so many different yarns that are either 100% paper yarns or different fibers combined with paper, which is something that I personally haven't seen for any other yarn company. I do know paper yarns, but I've never seen paper blends before. These yarns are partially handcrafted, and some are even made out of recycled materials, and they are produced entirely by small family businesses in Japan, talking about those paper yarns. As to be expected from an Asian company, you will find a lot of cotton and silk blends in their collection. Alongside those paper, silk, and cotton, you can find some fine Mongolian cashmere, some mohair, and alpaca blends, all of the highest qualities. So they have locally sourced, you know, cotton, paper, and silk, which are very traditional, local to Japan. But they also have cashmere, mohair, and alpaca, which are imported and spun and combined into different blends into their yarns. Now, you will notice that I've said cashmere, mohair, and alpaca, all very high quality wools. So on the more expensive and luxury scale of the wools. For those of you who were here when we spoke about the different kinds of wools, then you know what I mean. So I think that tells you something about how the company sees itself in terms of the quality of their products, where they aim to in terms of, luxury items. In addition to knitting yarns, the company also makes sewing and embroidery thread in a large variety of colors and compositions, as well as sell their own line of bamboo needles and crochet hooks alongside other notions. So they not only make yarn, they do make yarn, and a lot of their yarns come in cones or in fold skeins. You know what those are? Like when the yarns is not twisted skeins, they're just like folded. The skein is just like folded in half, and there's a label on top of it. But they also have, as I've said, embroidery thread and sewing thread. And their sewing thread specifically was very interesting to me because they have different compositions of sewing thread for your sewing machine. I'm not a sewer, so I can't even begin to think what different kinds of thread will do when you sew different kinds of fabrics with them. But I thought it was very interesting that they sell different compositions of fiber in sewing thread. And I looked on their Instagram, and they actually have a lot of pictures showing what you can do with those. And I thought it was very, very interesting. And as I've said, they also make their own notions. So bamboo needles, bamboo crochet hooks, stitch markers, yarn needles, and so on, all made for the Ito brand. Outside of Japan, you can get their yarns mainly in local yarn shops in North America, Europe, and Australia. And if you look in the description box below, I've put a link to their stocker list. So stores that stock Ito yarns all around the world, the local shops. So what you can do if you're interested in trying them out, you can click that link, see the list, and check for your country, or if you're in the US, your state, because they have quite a lot of stores in the US that stock their yarn, and see if one of those stores is anywhere near where you live, and maybe you can go and, get a feel of them, an actual feel of them. So they also sell in a very small selection of stores in Singapore and China, or you can order them online and have them shipped worldwide. And I think from what I looked, the one main company that sells them or ship them worldwide is Lovecrafts. So I linked Lovecrafts below as well. But they might also be available on other websites. Kim is saying the soul wool is $30 a hank on the US distributor. I can see why it would be that expensive. Kim is saying she has seen Ito in person before. And Catherine is saying, yay, she knows them. Haven't used their yarns. It's like super lace, but I love their bamboo knitting needles. And Kim is saying that sewing thread is very interesting, and Kathleen says cheap sewing thread can mess up your machine. Your little yarn shop has Ito. See, lucky you. I've seen Noro and Ito on Little Knits website, says Eileen. Oh, that's good to know. Does Little Knits ship worldwide? I have no idea. I never looked at that website before. So if you have that information, please let us know. If they do ship worldwide, I will try to edit that into the description box later on. Sonia is saying that's why I prefer hand sewing, because bad thread can mess up your machine. We're actually talking about it in patchwork class this week. Oh, about using cheap thread. Catherine saying, if she can push it through the machine, she will. See, like I said, I'm not a sewer. I cannot sew to save my life. I have a sewing machine. It's still in the box ever since my husband bought it for me for Christmas 6 years ago. If anyone is interested in a brand new sewing machine, I never even, I opened the box, I looked at it, and I was very, very happy. And when I got it, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to learn how to sew and it's going to be amazing. And of course, I never did. So, if you're interested in a brand new sewing machine, yeah, I have one. All right, so that was Ito, and once again, I stalked them on Instagram after I found them out, and they have beautiful things. I'm especially interested in those paper and paper blend yarns, and sadly, I did look at their list. They don't have no store that is in my vicinity stocks them. But I did see that Lovecrafts have some of their yarns. So I am planning a purchase because this is something I have to feel like a yarn that's a paper blend, not 100% paper. I've never had that before, and I gotta see what that's like. If you lived closer. I don't have anyone to teach me, Catherine. You need to come and give me classes. Sounds like you and your Instapot. Still in the box. Not the underground. See, but all of you, Sonia, Catherine, you guys live like an hour away from me, and none of you bother to come and teach me how to sew. For 6 years. You would be scared to wear paper yarn. Yeah, I mean, if it 100% paper yarn, I have had that before, and I would not recommend. It's like I don't know why they even make it. Like I can't possibly think of anything that would actually make sense to make out of it. But paper blend sounds very interesting. Like I wonder what qualities paper brings into the yarn when it's blended with a different fiber. That's what sounds interesting. Linda says that there are 6 stockets in the UK of Ito yarn. Is anyone near you, Linda? Maybe you can take us on a little yarn shop trip and show us. Be careful what you wish for. How do you wash paper yarn? That is an interesting question. I think you don't. Be prepared to sew a robe a la Anglaise. Ooh! I have the beer. And I have the sewing machine. You need to bring everything else. Let's have a quilting bee. Yay! I know what's gonna happen. Like, if Catherine and Sonia and I get together, we're gonna end up drinking more beer than sewing anything. Ooh, Linda, that's not very far. Mercantile in München sells Ito yarn, also online. Ooh, maybe I can order from them. I have no idea how you can... I'm really not an expert on paper yarn, which is why I'm so interested in... I mean, I have had 100% paper yarn before, and like I said, I would not recommend it. However, paper yarn blend, that's what really interests me. Like, what kind of qualities does... I know it's like very sleek, but it breaks very easily. It doesn't have like any kind of scales that you can combine it with a different fiber. So I'm very, very interested in that technology. How is it made and what does it feel like? Paper yarn designed for a house without kids or pets. Yes, exactly. Yes, your name is already on the bottle. You wear them once and throw them away, or maybe you make like decorative items out of them, like something that just stands there. Catherine is saying her little yarn store is closer to me than München, but your little yarn shop will be international shipping, while München won't be. I made masks a year ago, and that was the first time I've used sewing machines, says Francie. Since then, my children think I'm an experienced seamstress. Alice is saying, I think when I can channel my skills, share subscription, I'm thinking of joining this channel. Yes! Come join. As long as you are not in a thunderstorm, you should be okay. Oh. All right, Alice, thank you for being here. Cheers to Alice, everyone. Thanks for being here, for moderating my chat, and for supporting the channel. I highly appreciate it. Cheers to Alice. Right? Like you do something and they're like, wow, you make amazing things. All right. So that was Ito, and now we are going to talk about a company which I think, if I am pronouncing their names correctly, it's a little funnier than it should be. Okay, so now we are going to talk about Ganja. Now, I'm not sure if it's Ganja or Ganga, but I really want to call it Ganja because I think it's funny. So they are called Ganga Akra wools, and it is based in India. And it manufactures yarns for hand and machine knitting. So for those of you who are a bit confused, hand knitting yarn is the yarns that we use. It's called hand knitting yarns because you use it to knit with your hands or crochet, but the term is hand knitting yarns. And machine knitting yarns is the yarns that go into the textile industry, and machine knitting. So they make yarns for hand knitting as well as machine knitting, in addition to weaving and carpet yarns. So they make yarns that are specifically for weaving and yarns that are specifically for carpets. The company was founded over 60 years ago and has built quite a name for itself in India since. Their tagline is experience, expertise, and innovation. But in true sense, that is the summary that describes the company. It's constantly upgrading infrastructure, knowledge, training, and skills of the employee teams, and that results in products that are in great quality for their customers. Their collection practically covers almost all the segments that you might think of for knitting and machine yarns. They have fancy yarns, novelty yarns, they have multicolor yarns, self-striping yarns, pattern making yarns, classical yarns, all the fine counts, all those different natural blends, eco-friendly, synthetic blends, wool blends, and so on. They have everything. It's comparable in that sense to, things like Schachenmeier and which is like the German big brand, or I don't know, Lion brand, or Yarnspirations in the States, the ones that have everything. You can pretty much find anything, as I've said. They also have what you called first. I lost my words. So they are a company that introduced a lot of firsts to the Indian yarn market. So there's a lot of things in the yarn industry yarn collection that we take maybe as granted, but before they existed to us, they, you know, they maybe other people knew them, but in our country they were not yet as popular, or companies where we live did not produce them yet. So there's always like this first company that brings it into the local market. So they have a lot of firsts under their belts in terms of the Indian yarn market. Some of those innovations that they brought into the local markets are knotless yarn balls. So yarn balls that you can go through the whole ball and don't have one knot in the yarn. Another innovation that they brought into the local market is big yarn balls, one that have 200 grams and 300 grams in them, which is something that did not exist before. Also special techniques to create pattern making yarns, what we called jacquard yarns. Jacquard yarns is what those of you in the US might know as, you know, the Premier Nordica, the ones that make what we call a Norwegian pattern. So those are jacquard patterns, and those were also brought into the Indian market by Ganga Wools. They were the first ones to come out with it in the Indian market. So they are always learning from the international yarn manufacturing community and work very, very hard to be the first to bring those ideas into the local markets, which is what makes them so popular and so big inside of India. They also, much like the other Indian company that I have mentioned before, they also have a very large social media presence, which I thought was very nice because it made it very, very easy for me to contact them and ask them for information. And if you look at the picture that I have for you on the screen right now, this is one of their yarns. It's called Crypto, and it is a 100% acrylic yarn. And look at it and tell me, those of you in the US and those of you in Europe that buy a lot from Hobby, does it remind you of a certain yarn that you may already know? All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Yes, Catherine asked me to short their jeans every... Bye, Linda. Thank you for being here. No, the name is Crypto. There's an O in the end. It looks like a yarn ball. Hey, Granny B, Crochet and more. Welcome in. Someone who didn't name check the name. Going to add it to my list of mix for the future, my funeral. Oh, for the burial cassette. Carrie says it reminds her of the universe yarn. Eileen says yes. It looks like mandala, says Lori. Like that US denim brand that tried to sell in Germany, named the German word for wanker. They changed the name quickly. Yes, bad name, right? No, but it's actually, again, that specific yarn is called Crypto, and I think for us, it's hard to, like, because it looks like it says crypt. That's just poor design of the label. But so for those of you who do not know that yarn, it's pretty much cookie yarn from Hobby that you can see behind me, which is why I chose that picture, because cookie is my absolute favorite yarn to work with. There's a reason why I stockpile on it and hoard it. So this is virtually cookie yarn from Hobie, or I believe it is the Ferris wheel in the States, if I'm not mistaken. I may be confusing it with a different one, but I think that's the one. And yeah, so it's the same yarn. And once again, we have a case of a company that makes the yarn and sells it to different brands under the same name. Thank you, Lashira. Any chance one of you German girls have a label of that naughty yarn? No, I don't think anyone saved it. Like Sonia mentioned, they changed. They had to get a different name for it, or change the name of the yarn. Yes, Cookie. You're using Cookie right now, Eileen. Yes, I think it looks a lot like the Ferris wheel. I think the Ferris wheel is the one I'm thinking about, but I don't know because I never had the Ferris wheel. I had a Cookie, and people were telling me that Cookie is virtually the same as that yarn in the States. I love cake yarns. Catherine says we have a shoe store chain here called the Athlete's Foot. I don't understand how no one in that company knows that's fungus. Oh god, that's terrible. That's terrible. Yeah, if they mix paper yarn and called it crypt, that makes sense. It's biodegradable. Oh my god. The ideas that come up on these live chats every week. I don't know why I'm still surprised of you guys. Angela is saying, Catherine, they have the same brand in the UK and Australia. Hey, Donna. Yes, the purple one at the back is the Ferris wheel. You just use it. So I was right. So I was thinking the same one. Yeah, poor labeling, poor naming. I'm sure that happens a lot, you know, because there's a lot of words and names in one language that means something completely different in another. I think the best example that I always mention is that there is an entertainment show in Israel. It's like the gossip, like the celebrity gossip show, you know, where they talk about like different celebrity stuff. And the person who hosts it, his name is Guy Penis. Now, that's actually his name. His name is Guy. That is a very typical Hebrew name for a boy. It means valley in Hebrew. And his family name is Penis. Once again, in Hebrew, that has no interesting meaning. However, everywhere else in the world, when he introduces himself as Guy Penis, people raise eyebrows, and I think you all can understand why. That's a very poor name choice for your son. Oh, Angela says she has bought shoes from them. Not everyone makes a connection. Well, it's hard to find a girl penis. Yes, right. Well, you could, but oh yeah. All right, I thought you guys specifically will appreciate that story. Right. So that was Ganja. Now I have two more companies that I want to talk about, but before I do, I'm just gonna remind you all that we have a giveaway on Yarniversity every week, and what you have to do in order to enter the giveaway is come back to the video once it goes into replay and comment down below. Leave a comment telling me if you have experience with any of the companies that we spoke about today, and if you do, what is your experience? Was it good? What did you make? And if you don't, which one of these would you most like to try? And next week on Yarniversity, we will choose the winner out of the comments using the random comment picker, and the prize for this would be this package of ice yarns. They are 100% acrylic yarn, and there are 50 grams and 200 meters in each ball, and you get the whole package, so that's 400 grams of that, and that is the prize for today. Poor dude indeed. I think I would have changed my last name, says Nana. Mr. Penis is always looking for a valley. Okay, now I have the giggle, says Doris. It is spelled exactly the same way. I would find a person to marry and take their name, says Lori. Yeah, very unfortunate. Okay, so next yarn company I wanted to talk about comes from the Philippines. Let's see. I want to get the picture up for you guys. All right, this is Monaco, which is a little bit confusing because Monaco is somewhere completely different than the Philippines, but they are called the Monaco Manufacturing Corporation, based in the Philippines, and they are a thread and yarn company. Their main products are embroidery and crochet threads, so they specifically make crochet threads, which is one of those companies that, you know, I as a crocheter appreciate. They don't just make, they don't just make regular yarns that caters to both crocheters and knitters. They make crochet thread, and one of the reasons why they specifically make crochet thread is because in the Philippines, as I've mentioned before, the climate in the Philippines makes it so that most crocheters and knitters make very lightweight garments. They like to use plant-based fibers, things that are, you know, airy and light and drapey, and are catering to the local climate, which is very, very hot, and some subtropical would say. And so the main product that they make are embroidery and crochet threads, but they also make some acrylic yarns. But they only make either plant-based fibers such as natural and mercerized cotton or acrylic. They don't deal in wool at all. The company's humble beginning traces back to the year 1958, when it was established as a thread making company for bag closures. So they had like a very, very specific aim or definition at the beginning of the company, but since then it has grown and developed into what it is today, which is one of the leading sewing thread manufacturing companies in the Philippines. The company also exports embroidery and sewing threads to various parts of the world, but mainly they are sold in the Philippines. There aren't many local yarn manufacturers in the Philippines, for the exact reasons that I just mentioned. Many yarn lovers in the Philippines turn to imported yarns for their craft. The difficulty to compete with big brands that are imported from abroad is a threat to some, but Monaco is equipped with the latest modern machines, and they're coupled with the up-to-date, well-trained manpower and resources, so they stand up to the challenge and the global competition. But I have, as I've said, reached out to several Asian-based YouTubers to ask them about companies in their region, and 2 YouTubers out of the Philippines informed me that they pretty much order all of their yarns from abroad with international shipping, because there's not much local yarn companies, and the ones like Monaco that do exist mainly make threads and mainly use plant-based fibers such as cotton. And so if they want to, for their channel, create something different or cater to international community, they have to get their yarns for somewhere else, because these kind of fibers that are more known to us are not available to them. While their main products are aimed more towards the textile industry, they still maintain a line of products that are sold to the public in different local shops. Their cotton threads are very, very popular with local crocheters, and their acrylic yarns are said to be good for both hand as well as machine knitting. So they don't make a lot of different yarns. They have a very small range, but the ones that they do make are quite popular in the region where they operate. And I have another picture for you guys where you can see a little bit more of their collection. Is it spelled the same way? Yes, it is. You're welcome, Claudia. Nana says she loves crochet thread. Hi, Chris. No problem. You can always watch a replay. The replay is there, exactly for that reason. Dee says she loves the assortment of colors. Yeah, I think it is very hard for us who don't live in that part of the world, in that climate, to imagine what it is like when you live in that kind of climate and do a craft like crochet or knitting. So just imagine that pretty much like 100% of your makes will be made out of, cotton, bamboo, plant-based fibers, and it will be, if it's wearable, it will be like, tank tops and tops and shawls, very, very lacy things, very, very open mesh. Imagine living in a very, very hot, very, very humid, but even more like, think Florida times, I don't know, 5, 10. And then imagine, crocheting in that weather. Lovely Color says, Catherine, here it's hard to find anything other than white and cream. That is correct. But I think it's because crochet thread as a whole is not that, it's not that popular here. I mean, I think we don't use it the same way. When I'm saying here in Europe. I think we don't use it in the same way. So my husband's grandmother, she uses thread, but she makes doilies with it mainly. And doilies in Europe are currently like perceived as some kind of like older people's decoration of the house. Younger people who start to crochet or knit don't really make doilies. So we don't really use crochet thread because for shawls and garments and light garments, we have, gradient cotton cakes of all kinds, and that's what we use. But imagine not having that. What would you turn to? And because we have that much of a collection, the crochet thread that you can find is mainly like these bland colors. But they don't have that. They only have this, so they have that in every possible color. Didn't we all see Big Ed melt on 90 Day Fiancé in the Philippines? Is that a movie? I'm sorry. I don't know. Catherine saying she would be very sad because she likes wool. It's first time I'm crocheting with a bulky yarn, says Francie. It's quick, but cotton is my absolute favorite to work with. Doilies are seen the same here in the UK, says Angela. Here they only make doilies or curtains, says Catherine. She means with crochet threads. And Jana says she also is a fan of cotton, bamboo, and doesn't like bulky yarn. And Catherine says, yes, doilies are your granny's crochet, but I have seen awesome decorations with them. Yes, I mean, you can make a lot out of crochet thread, but I just think it's not as popular or not as hip here here in Germany or here in Europe in general. And Catherine, just like you said, people mainly make doilies or curtains out of them, and I think us European are a little stuck-uppy, and if we will, make curtains out of them, we will use white and cream. Whilst in places like the Far East, the Philippines, the Japan, China, India, Thailand, you will see much more color in that term in terms of like decorations and stuff. So I do believe that if they do make curtains, they probably make them out of these colors. Big Ed, though his weight might have been a bigger issue than the tropical weather. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. I might have a huge hole in my education right now. Making doilies is popular right now in the Netherlands, but they put them in huge rings, sometimes 4 feet in diameter. Oh, really? Wow. You've seen mini amigurumi made with that thread. Mini, oh, the ones that are like this tiny, 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 and people hold them on their fingers? Young people are putting doilies as the center of dream catchers, and they are beautiful. Oh, that's an idea. Like sort of a mandala thingy. Jewelry or amigurumi, says Mayor. By the time I finish one curtain, it wouldn't be white anymore, says Kathy. Yeah, I think there's a lot you can do with thread. It's like, crochet has so many different, branches in it, right? Like some of us make jewelry, we make accessories, some of us like to make more homeware, blankets and pillows and so on. Some of us make wearables, like I do. I like to make cardigans and shawls, and mainly shawls, and beanies and scarves. Like this is mostly what I make, while other people make home decorations and curtains and doilies and blankets, and so we all like to make different things, or amigurumi or mini amigurumi. Or earrings. Did all of you see my amazing macrame earrings that I bought? I put the picture on Instagram, and I think I'm gonna wear them for Yarniversity next week to show you guys because they are amazing. She's a wonderful, wonderful artist. Another one I need to include next time. Maybe I will do a Yarniversity about fiber art jewelry. Yeah, that's an idea. I've seen jewelry and bookmarks made with crochet thread. And bookmarks is a good idea. And Inaya, Elisa, she's saying, I've used thread mostly for amigurumi. Jana is saying, Sonia is saying, I leveled up my crocheting lately, made a wonky ball for the cat to play with. She hates it. Success. Thread is great for adding beads to a cotton shawl. Too small from those old hanks for those old hanks to use. It's great that we can be all ages and sit together and crochet while using your favorite, whatever it may be, thread. Yeah, right. I agree. Was wondering, Elisa, what yarn you use for your dolls? Yes, Elisa, that is a good question. Oh, anything you put catnip in, she would like. All right, so last company I want to talk about is a Russian company, and I really had to make a lot of effort. I knew I wanted to include a Russian company because there are quite a lot of them. Crochet and knitting is very, very popular in Russia. But as I've told you guys in the beginning, it's very, very hard to find information about those companies that is not in Russian. And whatever I put into Google Translate came out so much gibberish that I could really make no sense to it. But I did find one company that I was able to connect with, and so by default, they are the company that I'm going to talk to you about today. But please don't think this is like, they do represent Russian yarn industry. However, there are so many other companies, so many other Russian companies as well. It was very, very hard to choose if I would have spoken Russian. But because I'm not, so they kind of like won by default. I totally agree, Ursula. And please, I hope that no one took offense when I said that in Europe, doilies are something that older people make. That was not meant as an offense. It was a statement as like, it's not something that's very, very popular with the bigger crowd of crocheters and knitters. That's not the main thing that people make in Europe. Hello, Margaret. Welcome in. Right, exactly. And then you have the kid running around tangled in all the yarn. So the Russian company that we are going to talk about is called Pejorka. Yes, their name is Pejorka, and the history of this company dates back to 1905, when the original factory was built by the Kozin brothers. Now, the original factory that was established by them was named Pejorka, and it was based somewhere outside of Moscow. But it has since evolved, changed owners a few times, and the name has changed as well. So for quite a few times, the same yarns from the same companies were sold under a different label. But in recent years, they have gone back to the original name, taking on a different business approach, and now they are called Pejorka again. But they are owned by a different family. They are no longer owned by the original founders or any of their descendants. And it is today one of the biggest manufacturers of hand knitting yarns in Russia. The company has suppliers both from within Russia as well as internationally imported from other regions of the world. And the finished products are distributed all over Russia and also to other parts of Asia, as well as Europe, US, Canada, and Australia. So you may have come across their yarns in your area, depending on where you live. In addition to their own home brand, the company also makes yarns and thread for other brands. So it's another one of those companies that make yarn and sell it to other big brands who distribute under their own label. And so even if you never tried their yarns knowingly, if you bought a yarn in your country from a local brand and the label said that it was made in Russia, it is very possible that it was made by Pejorka. They also pride themselves on having very affordable prices for all of this, for the entire yarn selection. So even the higher end blends, in terms of local terms, so local Russian terms, their prices are very, very affordable. Even their more fancy yarns are on the lower end of the price range in local Russian terms. The company's products line is divided into several series. So they have like different collections. They have the winter collection, the summer collection, luxury collection, ecological collection, which is all, you know, the environmentally friendly recycled yarns and so on. They have the creative collection, which is all of their novelty yarns. And they have children's, which is baby yarns and children-friendly yarns. And the classic collection, which is what you would expect to find from any other yarn company, you know, the regular everyday acrylic. These different lines cover a very large range of yarns in all fiber compositions, in all textures, in all colors, and all yarn weights. In short, there's pretty much something for everyone. So it is, like I said, your local everyday yarns company when it comes to Russia. Let's see. Dee is saying yummy colors, love those together. I love them too. It's a great picture. Difficult to pronounce the name. Label says Smisovaya. Yeah, that is the label is the name of the yarn. So the yarn is called Smisovaya, and as you can see, it says blended yarn. But if you look at the middle pink one, you will see the logo of the company, and it says Pejorka on it. Hello, Lita. You'll make dollies every now and then. My mom loved making them. Hi, Bobby. Bobby says, I think cotton thread doilies involve a higher skill set and difficulty level. The more modern equivalent is the mandala style Afghan that uses many different stitches. I totally agree. Yeah, the mandala style blankets are like very, very popular with the younger crowds. Congratulations, you found something that's harder to say than sheepies. And all we had to do is go to Russia. Yes, exactly. That was the name of the yarn, not the company. So, but yes, as I've said, that company, Pejorka, they started as Pejorka, and then they were taken over a few times. You know, as I told you guys, the company started in 1905, and then a lot has happened, of course, since then. And you have to think like Russian economy, companies, you know, went bankrupt, went under. It's not very common to find a lot of Russian companies that have survived for a very long time. There were a lot of things happening in the Russian, not just textile industry, but industry in general, over, you know, that century. And so there's not a lot of companies that you can say they've existed that long and remain under the same owners. So the company did change owners. Some of the owners changed the name of the company, or they changed location of the factory and so on. But as I've said, in recent years, they went back to the original name of the company, which is the same name that was in 1905. And they have ranged into a very, very large collection of yarns, catering to pretty much everyone's needs. And they also manufacture for larger brands abroad. So as I've said, if you have bought yarn and it said it was made in Russia, it's very, very likely that it was made by them. Now you see the middle name, yeah. Thanks for writing it phonetically, Shelly. I feel so smart now. Harder to say than sheepies. Harder to say than sheep. Hi, Julie. It's no problem. You can always catch the replay. New to your channel. Hello from Montana. Hello. Welcome in. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And hi to Christy, welcome in. You're 90% sure you don't pronounce sheepsheep correctly. I've been watching a lot of history lately. They had a couple of revolutions and 2 world wars about that time. Yes, exactly. A lot happened since 1905. Great-grandpa still had to meet great-grandma, etc. Wow, I feel really... Yes. I remember when I interviewed my great-grandfather for my family tree history research that I did, I don't know, 20 years ago, even more than 20 years ago. And I also used like an interview that he had made with someone before me, and he was telling his life story. And I remember he was born in 1905, and I was like, I remember that seemed like way long ago to me. But yeah, a lot has happened. Margaret, you are from Florence, Alabama. Welcome in. It's really not that hard to say sheepious. Shapious. 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 Shape, then yes. Shapious. Yeah, but you're missing that in the middle there because it's Dutch, right? Shapious. It's like you have phlegm in your throat and you need to get rid of it. That's how you pronounce that. So yeah, that was Pejorka, which is the last company that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And that concludes our rundown of the Asian yarn companies for today. Almost perfect. So I am very, very happy that you all joined me, and I hope that you learn new things. I hope that you got to know new companies. Maybe it, made you like want to try some of these. And as I've said, there are links in the description box below to where you can get some of them. There's also, I put one link to a Canadian website I found that sells Pejorka yarns. So if some of you in Canada or in the US would like to try them, then you can, ship them over through that website. It's also in the description box below. And, I'm an enabler. So if you guys end up buying any of these yarns following today's live, I would love to hear about it. So I would love for you to, tell me about it on our Facebook group or, in the comments. I would love to hear. I'm very glad that you had a nice time. Most South Africans have phlegm in their throats. I'm so glad that you guys all liked it. Imagine 1905. The Battle of Waterloo was closer to that year than we are now, right? You pronounce it sheepies. Thankfully, I don't have to embarrass myself asking for it as my local yarn lady doesn't stock it. I'm very happy that you all had a great time. And we are going to choose the winner from last week's Yarniversity now. So I'm going to take you with me. And I want to remind you all that once we choose the winner... Oh, what happened? Oh no, wait 1 second. I forgot to put in the URL. Wait, back to me. Let's get the video. URL. Sorry, guys. So filter duplicate users, get YouTube comments. All right, so I want to remind you all that we are going to choose the winner from, not last week, because last week we had a game show, 2 weeks ago, Yarniversity. And I asked a question. It was 2 weeks ago. We talked about European companies, and I asked you guys if you had experience with any of those companies, and if it was, what it was. The same question that I asked today virtually, but about the companies that we spoke 2 weeks ago. So we're gonna see who the winner is, and then we're gonna read their winning comment. And if the winning comment does not answer the question that I asked, I'm gonna have to choose a different winner. And if the winning comment does answer the question that I asked, the winner has 1 week to contact me. My email is in the description box below. You have to contact me to claim your prize. And when you contact me to claim your prize, you have to give me your full address, including the country you live in. I live in Germany. So if you don't live in Germany, which is most likely because we only have like 3 Germans here, then you're probably gonna have to have it shipped I'm probably gonna have to have it shipped internationally to you. So I need to know what country you live in, okay? And I'm telling that I say that every week, but please consider the way the mail system is nowadays. If you don't live in Germany, it will take a while until the prize gets to you. I always ship the prizes out as soon as the winners contact me, but it does sometimes take a while until they get to their destinations. However, we have enough winners, past winners here in the chat to ensure you that they always arrive. Okay, so don't get stressed out. The prizes are always on their way. All right, so we got the comments. We have 21 commenters, and let's see who wins the interchangeable light up crochet set. We have Katrin Carl Storage. She says, I have had the chance to work with Rowan, Hobby, and Stylecraft. Hobby Yarns wins. The twister yarn is so soft and just glides through the fingers. I live in the piney woods of Texas, USA, so while I love animal fibers, I rarely use them. Cotton and bamboo are the most common choices. Well, Katrin, you definitely answered the question, so you are today's winner. So congratulations to Katrin, and cheers. And don't forget to write me an email to claim your prize. And for the rest of you, don't forget to come back to the video once it goes into replay and comment down below. Leave me a comment. Tell me if you have experience with any of the companies that we spoke about today. If yes, what did you make, or what is your experience? If no, which one of these would you most like to try? And maybe tell me why also, just because it's interesting. And that will be your entry to next week's Yarniversity draw. Next week will be part 3 of yarn companies from around the world, and we are going to Australia, down under. So it's gonna be very interesting. I am very much looking forward to that. Already started my research and already found some very interesting things. So I hope that you and I will have a lot of fun next week. And also coming up this week, we will have sometime during this upcoming week, we will have a live to discuss the ongoing crochet along for, you know, questions that you might have, and showing some pictures of the creations that are running around the Instagram and Facebook so far, and just general chit chat. So look up for this. The notice for that will come up on the channel sometime this coming week. And I would love to see you all there, and I would love to see you all next week on Yarniversity as well. And if you see me sometime somewhere else on the YouTube halls, you know, just wave, say hi. I bet Schachenmeier is another of those brands I mangle the name of. Schachenmeier is Schachenmeier. I think I said it last week. I explained how to, not last week, 2 weeks ago, I explained how to say it correctly. All right, so yes, congratulations to the winner. Thank you all very, very much for joining me today. I had a lot of fun. I highly appreciate you guys joining me. If you haven't yet, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. If you want to join our membership program, push that join button and get a rundown of everything it means to be a member of the channel. And I am going to say thank you all very, very much for watching. I might catch you at Granny D's later, but I have to go have dinner first. So if I manage to, I will say hi when I get there. And if I not, D, you know I love you. And I will see you all next time. Bye.